Hello and welcome. I'm CK. I am a member of the Astronomical Society of Penang. Thank you for joining me for this episode of What's Up in the Sky. In a short while, I will share with you all the exciting astronomical events that will take place this month, April 2021. Don't worry if you don't have a telescope or a binoculars, because most of the events that I will share are visible without any optical aid. They can be seen with your naked eye. Astronomical Society of Penang is a non-profit organization which promotes awareness and education in astronomy. They conduct public stargazing sessions, run workshops, organize quizzes in both primary and secondary school, astrophotography competition, and many more. For more information, or if you would like to become a member, please check out the Astronomical Society of Penang Facebook page or email astronomicalsocietyofpenang@gmail.com. For your information, the Astronomical Society of Penang has published a comprehensive astronomical calendar for year 2021. The A4 size soft stand desk calendar features the 13 winning photos from the astrophotography contest last year. Major astronomical events throughout the year are marked and listed on the 3-in-1 calendar for easy reference, so you won't miss them. You can get a copy of the calendar from our Shopee store or through our Facebook page. Okay, without any further delay, let's get started. I'm going to start with the moon. There are actually two interesting events that are related to the moon this month. And the first one is the new moon sighting for the holy month of Ramadan. To determine the start of the holy month, there will be a new moon sighting event. And for this year, it will happen on the 12th of April. For your information, there are many official new moon sighting locations in Malaysia. However, they are not open to public. In Penang, we are very lucky because the Jabatan Mufti Pulau Pinang has always granted our club to join them for the new moon sighting every year. So, to all our friends from the Jabatan Mufti Pulau Pinang, I would like to thank you very much for your support. So, what is a new moon? To understand this better, we have to take a look at this diagram. As many of you know, the moon goes round the Earth in an orbit. To orbit the Earth, the moon will take about 30 days. We can see the moon in the sky because the moon reflects light from the sun. As you may know, the moon is a spherical object. Only the lighted half can be seen at any time. Because of this reason, and the moon orbit around the Earth, we will see the moon changing its phases. To get a certain phase, the moon will have to be at a specific location relative to the Earth and the Sun. For example, to get a full moon, the moon will have to be on the opposite side of the Sun. Take a look at this diagram. Yes, the yellow stick person is actually you. To get a full moon, the moon would have to rise when the sun sets, and then set when the sun rises. Therefore, the moon can be seen the whole night. This diagram shows that you are looking at the moon at your local midnight. At this time, the moon is over your head. Now, let's see, how do we get a new moon? To get the new moon, the moon has to be between the Earth and the Sun. At this position, we are actually looking at the dark side of the moon. During the time of the new moon, the location of the moon in the sky will be very close to the sun. In theory, we cannot see the new moon at all. This is because the sunlight is too bright. And when the sun sets, the moon will set too. So, how do we see a new moon? To be able to see the new moon, we have to allow some time for the moon to move further away from the sun. The further it moves, the easier we can see. The youngest moon that I have personally seen was a 19-hour-old moon. It is believed that the youngest moon that someone can possibly see should be around 12 hours old. Now, for the $64,000 question, can we see the new moon on the 12th April 2021? I'm sorry for the suspense, but before I tell you the answer, take a look at this diagram. It shows you the position of the sun and the moon. And this is at sunset on the 12th of April 2021. As you can see, as the sun is setting, the moon is about 3.5 degrees from the horizon. At this time, the moon is only 9 hours old. The moon will also set about 17 minutes after the sun sets. So, can we see the new moon? Unfortunately not. Don't be sad, because next month we will be able to have another opportunity to see the new moon. And it will be a very important new moon sighting too, because it is the new moon sighting to determine the date for the Hari Raya celebration. And if you look at this diagram again, other than the new moon, we may actually see the planet Venus. When the sun sets on the 12th of April 2021, Venus will be just above the sun, slightly to the right of the moon. To have a better chance to see Venus, use a binoculars. But do remember, do not try to observe Venus when the sun is still in the sky. You have to wait for the sun to set before you search for Venus. The next exciting event will be the occultation of Mars by the moon. And this will happen on the April 17th of 2021. According to the Wikipedia, occultation is an event that occurs when one object is hidden by another object that passes between it and the observer. For this event, the planet Mars will be hidden by the moon. To see this event, you have to look west. If the sky is clear, you should not have any problem locating the crescent moon. Above the crescent moon, you should be able to see a red star. It is not a star at all. It is actually the planet Mars. You should start to look before 9 p.m. If you look carefully, you can see that Mars is getting closer to the moon as time passes. The occultation will begin at 9:16 p.m. At the start of the occultation, you can see that Mars slowly dimming. This will happen for the next few seconds until Mars is totally vanished. I would like to give you a little heads up. On the occultation day, the moon is in crescent phase. There is a huge part of the moon's surface that you are not able to see. And the occultation of Mars will begin at this unlit part. So there's a slight chance that you may miss the beginning. For the next 1 hour, you will not be able to see Mars again. Mars will appear on the other side of the moon at 10:32 p.m. After that, Mars and moon will slowly drift apart. For this month, we will have the Lyrid meteor shower. While we can see meteors at any given night, there are certain nights that you may see more. One of such nights will happen on April 22nd. The best time to observe will be the late night of April 22nd till the early morning of April 23rd. The constellation of Lyra, where the meteor appeared to come from, will rise after midnight, so you can expect to see more meteors as the constellation rise higher in the sky. Also, the waxing gibbous moon will set in the west after around 3 a.m. So there will be no interference from the moonlight after that. This is strictly a no telescope event, meaning the best view will be by using your naked eyes. The constellation of Lyra will rise from the northeastern direction, so it is best to face that direction and look up. Get a few family members or friends to join in the observation. A word of caution here. Although the predicted number of meteors that can be seen are around 20 per hour, do expect to see less. The number of meteors that you can see are determined by many factors. To see higher number of meteors, you will need a very dark sky, no interference from moonlight, unobstructed view from all directions, and also having the radiant point to be overhead, in this case the Lyra constellation. As most of us are living in the cities, the number of meteors will be much less. Those of you who like a bit of challenges, you can try to spot Venus and Mercury side by side on April 25th and 26th. On those days, both planets will be about 7 degrees above the Sun at sunset. The planets are easier to see if you use a binoculars. If the sky is clear, you should not have any problem locating Venus. On the other hand, Mercury will be a tough object to see because it is much dimmer than Venus. The next event that I would like to share with you will take place end of this month. On the night of April 27, 2021, if you look up in the sky, you will not see the plane, but it's supermoon! Sorry, I got carried away. Let us not fly away, but come back to Earth. What is supermoon? It is not actually an astronomical term, but recently, a lot of people have been using the term supermoon. Supermoon is generally referred to as a larger full moon. We already know that the moon goes around the Earth in an orbit. However, the orbit is not circular, but a little bit oval. At some part of the orbit, the moon may move closer to the Earth, while at another part, it moves further. The difference between the nearest moon and the furthest moon may be about 50,000 kilometers. This causes the moon to increase in size or decrease in size. So all the full moon will not be the same. Some will appear bigger and some will appear smaller. The supermoon event will occur on the 27th of April 2021. It is easy to see the supermoon. Just go outside and face east. If you have a clear view of the eastern horizon, you can start to see the moon rising at around 7:45 p.m. Are you able to see the full moon rising? Let me know in the comment below. Before we end, I would like to share with you some information on the planet this month. The two most interesting planets in our solar system, Jupiter and Saturn, can be seen in the morning sky. To look at the planet, look east. The best time will be around 6 to 6:30 in the morning. Between the two planets, Saturn will be higher. It will look like a bright yellow star, while Jupiter is about 10 degrees lower than Saturn, and it will look like a bright white star. Saturn and Jupiter will be visible the whole of this month. We have come to the end of this episode of What's Up in the Sky. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel in order to stay updated with our event and activities, as well as latest astronomical news and information. I hope you can join me again next month, which I will share with you more exciting astronomical events. If you have any comment or suggestion, please let me know at the comment section below. Goodbye and clear sky.